Have you ever played a game called Bingo? It's a fun-filled game which you can play with 2 to 23 people at a time. In Bingo, we have 25 randomly numbered tiles to all the players. The number can be shuffled player by player. Each player should say one number and others should strike the number out. If I say 25, others should strike 25, and the next player should say 15 and others can strike out 15. Your goal is to cover 5 of those squares in a vertical, horizontal, in a diagonal row. One row or column completion determines that you got the one word from bingo. If you say B, if it completes 2, I, if it completes 3, N. It can be go as horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Whoever completes the goal, they do say bingo. As for example, we already got BING, and finally when I got O, you won the game and click out to play again. It sounds easy, but there is some logical tweaks to be applied when it comes to a programming. In this video, we'll see how to develop this bingo game using JavaScript. Let's get started. As you can see, we have 3 files in here: HTML, JSON, CSS. These are the files that we're going to work with. First, let me import HTML tags and JSON, CSS to this HTML. Make sure you are referring an attribute called defer, so the JS file will get initiated once after the DOM elements has been completed. Now, we are in need of 2 divs. One is for container and another one is for letter. The container holds this table because I am using table here. Each and every TD refers a square, and there is another container for this letter div. So the letters will appear based on our column or row completion. So let me create a first div called container. Inside the container, let me add a table called table bingo. Leave it as it is because we're going to render this table dynamically. And I'm just going to create another div saying this as letter div. Inside the letter div, I'm having a table. The table has an ID of table letter, because if it's in the table format, we can match exactly with the columns to each letters. BINGO will align to the columns. Table, and here I'm just adding as letters bingo, and each TD has each letter. That's it. HTML part is done. Once we save, we can see bingo. That's fine. Now we can go ahead and create the squares dynamically. First of all, let me fetch the table, which is constant table document dot query selector. The query selector takes table bingo. In the same way, we have to get the letters bingo. As of now, we are not going to do anything with this letters bingo. Just leave it as it is. We can only concentrate on this table. Now, as I already told you, these are all dynamically created values should be rendered inside the table. We can keep this as an array from 0 to 25, which means the array should be in a length of 26. We will eliminate the first element 0 from the array, so we can get 1 to 25 and create a table dynamically in a loop. That's what we're going to do. For that, we have to create an array from 0 to 25. So let array dot apply the array length. We have to specify our length 26. We have to map to each numbers dot call number. This will generate an array from 0 to 26. If I console log it, save, if you see from 0 to 26, it has generated. Now we have to eliminate the first index, which is 0. We don't need 0 because we're going to start from 1. Simply we can use array method called shift. It will eliminate the first element of an array and return it. If I say array shift, you see it returns 0. So we can do array shift here. Now we have to shuffle up the array because each time it cannot be 1 to 25 all the time. It depends on player to player. If I open this application, it should be random numbers. Next time if someone opens, that should be random numbers. So we have to shuffle this array. To shuffling it, we have to create a function called shuffle. I'm gonna give this array. First of all, I have to get the current index. It's just a simple logic. What we have to do is we have to come from the bottom to top. From 26, we have to loop the each element, and we have to align the index position from one index to another index. We have to rearrange the elements inside an array. That's what we're going to do. So let me initiate a variable like current index. So it takes array.length and undefined the random index, which is going to be generated down. Not specify anything. Now while we have to go bottom to top from 26 to 1, current index not is equal to 0. We have to loop till 0. So what you have to do, we have to fetch the random index first, which is math.floor. We can use this function to set current index. Once after the current index has been used, we have to reduce the current syntax value. Now rearrange the index positions from one element to another element. So for that, we can use array of current index, comma, array of random index. It should be go inside an array equals. We have to do the same. First comes random index, second one comes current index. Now return an array. Once you shuffle the array, when I log the array, you could see how it appears. Save it, go and check. Now we could see the values are shuffled between arrays. Now we can go ahead and render the table. Since it's 5 by 5 matrix grid, we can have two loops. The first loop takes row and the second loop takes a column. It will go 1 to 5. To keep the index position to be increased from 0 to 24, I'm going to set one iterator. The iterator takes care of all these text contents and its values. So first, let me do one for. It should be 5. The second for, same takes. Inside 5, let me do j. The first, inside the first loop, I'm gonna create an element called tr, and I'm gonna append it inside the table. The table is table bingo. I'm gonna append inside, and I have to create a td and append inside this tr. To do that, let me create element. The TD has been created. Now I have to set an ID for this TD because we have to fetch the value and strike out. Once after we strike out, we know whether the number is being done or not. So it's an array. As I already told you, we are in need of an iterator. Zero, we can set the iterator and it has to be string. Okay, now I have to set the style width and height at 20% for that TD, and we have to set one class called main table cell because that class responsible for the animation and responsible to contain the cell formatted square. TD class list. If you don't know how to modify HTML DOM elements using JavaScript, like creating an element, selecting an element, like the styles class list, I have created a dedicated video for it. I'm giving you a card in the top right corner. You can go ahead and check it out. Now I'm adding the class called main table cell, and let me create one div because when I inspect this, you can see we have a TD class called main table cell. Main table cell contains this height and width. Inside the main table cell, I have a div which has a class of cell format. The cell format takes care of all this formatting, and when it strikes out, the strikeouts happens in the main table cell itself. So in the same way, let me create the div. So create element as div, and I'm giving a class called cell format for the div, and the text content should be the value of an array. And we have to append this div into td dot append child div, and this td to tr. That's it. Finally, increase the iterator. Save it. Now our table has rendered. Let us go and do some CSS work inside the table. First of all, I'm going to set a body. Inside the body, the margin and the padding should be 0. Padding top, you can keep it as 30 pixel for your visibility. That's it. And I don't want the outline for the body. So when the body is focused, outline should be null. Okay. And I have to create CSS for container. The width of the container should be 100. Then display. The container should be in the center of the screen. So display, I'm going with the flags. Justify content is center. Cool. Save. It's in the center. Good. And we have to set the style for the table. Bingo. So border collapse, and height, width, text align, font size, and cursor should be pointed. All the CSS are here. This is nicely aligned. Now we have to set the format for the TD and the cell format. TD, let me increase the padding. And for the cell format, everything should be in center. And I have given some borders into it. So when I hover, it should be changed. I'm changing the color when hover. So when I'm hovering, it is changing. And even for the letters, let me apply some CSS. Yeah. For the letters, as of now, I said display none. Once I comment it, you could see the letters is nicely aligned. As for now, whenever we complete one row or column, it should be render each letter at a time. So let me undo it. Now we can implement the strikeout functionality. From the winning combinations, we could get the result out of this game. Or that everything is going to be based on this main table cell. So let me querying the main table cell because we have so many main table cell. That's why I'm using query selector all. And the each cell should be clicked. When it's clicked, we have to add the class called strikeout. v.add event listener. The listener should be click and it goes with the function. And I'm adding a class list called strikeout. Once I add it, save it, go to elements. When I click and inspect, we could see the strikeout class added to the main table cell. In this strikeout, we have to set a CSS. Once we save it, once we strike out, it is getting striking out. I don't like this Times New Roman format, so let me import some other font family in the body. Cool. Now what we have to do, we have to set the winning positions and make sure the combinations of winning positions works fine and generates the letters. Save this. The winning combination should be based on an array. For example, here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the one set of winning combination. Likewise, we have to define the combinations in the array. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is one combination, and 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20 is another combination. As of now, I'm just setting it up for only the vertical and horizontal combinations, not for the diagonal. If you want, you can try it out. So the winning positions are likewise. I have set all the possible winning positions for the 5x5 grid, horizontal and vertical only. If you can use another array to define diagonal winning positions. Now I'm creating another function called match win. In this function, we're gonna write some logic. Match win. Again, I am fetching the cell called main table cell, and I have to return to the Boolean where sum of a combination. First, what we have to check? We have to check each combinations, and each and every combination contains an array of element. So from the sum of combinations, every value should have a strikeout. If it reaches to 5, the match win. If it's not, it will continue to loop in to increase the combination to be 5, right? For that, I'm setting the winning position, sum of the winning combinations is true. So combination, I'm looping the combination because combination is an array. We have to fetch the array element and check whether it does have a strikeout or not. Index if our cell, the particular index value contains a class list called strikeout, then what we have to do? We have to check another main table cell where it has a strikeout. So for that, we are in need of one iterator. The iterator is here, and I am increasing the iterator because I need the iterator only goes up to 5, nothing more than that. Then from the 5, the combination of every combination, because as I already told you, the combination here is an array. Inside the array, we have index positions. Each index position should have a strikeout. If it reaches to 5, it will go ahead and check another index position. Because 0th positions contains two combinations, 0 to 4 and 0 to 20. These two combinations to be aware. For example, 15, 1, 3, 16 is one combination. In another combination, we don't have to strike out all 5 squares. Only 4 is enough. If it reaches to 3, only 1 is enough to complete all one whole set. This logic that we have to mind it. Each square, once we have a strikeout, we should consider in all the combinations whether the index is being striked out or not. So that I am setting here combination every inside I am returning the cell particular index class list dot contains strikeout. It will say true or false. If every index is true, it should be 1. If it's 1, we have to set the letters to be visible one by one. Save it. After this strikeout, if match win, if match win is true, here how do we define how many combinations is being done? We are in need of an iterator here, winning iterator. The winning iterator goes up here and class list dot add. I have to display the particular letter. In CSS, we already set display as none. To enable it, I am having one class called show bingo. Display should be initial. I am adding this show bingo here. And to check another combination, we have to increase the iterator. If the winning iterator is 5, I just want to show an alert called bingo, and I'm reloading the page. That's it. Let me save it, go and check the functionality. First, I'm setting combination 6, 20, 15, 10, 7. We got the console error. Combination is not defined. Here it's combination, save, 8, 1, 25, 10, 23. We got first letter. And now let me complete this first row. 7, we got second letter. 19, 11, and 6. And the game is end. No, it shouldn't be there. Something is wrong in here. Because, as I already told you, we have to consider each positions that is occurring 2 or more combinations, right? When I selected all these one combination, the winning position still have this combination. Again, when I click it, it checks for the match win and going for the iterator, and the match win, it checks the sum of the combination is true. The first combination is already 2, which is already existing, the winning portion. We didn't remove it. So it is also another set of combinations is being done. So it increases the iterator and shows us the letter. It shouldn't supposed to be happen. What do we have to do? We have to check which combination is being done and remove it from the winning positions array. To do is easy. We have to check whether the first combinations, all 5 is being strike out. We have to remove the particular array from the winning combination. So I'm just taking the index portion of the particular combination and removing the array from winning portion. That's win splice. Splice is used to remove the first element of array, but it won't return it. If you don't know about the array methods, I've created a dedicated video for it. The link is in the description. You can go ahead and check it out. Now, let me save it. Again, 20, 17, 16, 23, 21. B, I, it's done. Let me go ahead this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 combinations has been done. If I select 14, the 5 should be done. Boom. We got a bingo. Once click OK, the page has been refreshed. You can refresh the page as many times you want. That's how you will implement the game called Bingo. This is Dharanz. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned some of the logics to be applied to create JavaScript apps. If you have any queries, comment me below. All links in the description. I am just applying the source to the description as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video, then click the bell icon to get my latest video update.